right, so this detention docket for the 323rd, let me explain what's going on. The law says when a child's brought to our facility, you have to see a judge within 2 days. I have to decide whether to keep you in custody or release you. If I keep you in custody, then the law says you have to see a judge every 10 days. I'll explain that this process is basically that I have to find that there's probable cause that you committed an offense. That means, can somebody articulate, can somebody put to words statements that if they were true would be a violation of our laws? If so, then I decide whether I should release you or not. If I release you or not depends on things like whether you can be adequately supervised in the community, whether you're a danger to yourself, danger to others, if you're likely not to show up for court. And once I make that decision, if I detain you, you'll see a judge every 10 days. If I don't detain you, and if I release you, I can put any kind of reasonable restriction on your release, like electronic monitor, a curfew for you, going to school, not going to school, living in a place, not living in a place, anything that's reasonable. So I am certain there will be things that are important to your case that I will not hear. This is not the time to discuss it. That is something that you want to tell your attorney. Speaking of attorneys, you do have a couple of rights at this hearing. You do have a right to remain silent. But if you give up that right, you say anything at a detention hearing, nothing you say at a detention hearing can be used against you at any other kind of court setting. Also, you do have the right to an attorney. If you or your family cannot afford an attorney, I'll provide one for you. Okay, I think, and that also goes for the parents as well. If you have information, I'm certain you'll have stuff about your kids that will be important, but this is not the time for that. This is simply about detaining your child or releasing your child. If there's information, more information, that is something that you want to tell your child's attorney. All right, so let's go ahead and start with Michaela. Did you tell Mary to reverse the 10 days? Did you know? Yes. Okay, so we know you this out of custody detention hearing. We have a parent here? Okay, hello. Okay, Michaela, you have, back in March, Forward PD brought you in for an assault family violence against your mother. This is about you sneaking into a bathroom to use a cell phone for social media, but you were being disciplined because you were being disciplined to not have social media. And so on April 6th, I released you at a 10-day hearing on electronic monitor and strict lockdown. On May 7th, your probation officer met with me saying that you've been complying with your schedule since your release, but mom has complained about you continue to access social media with your school devices. And so mom was not comfortable with you coming off EM, but that's because you kind of got, I guess, cabin fever being stuck at home. So I declined to take off the EM, but authorized more or less restrictions on your electronic monitor. And then, let's see, because last week we got words from your mom saying that you've put your hands on her, you're disrespectful, and then you hate her and you intend to leave home when you turn 17, breaking things in the house, and also continue to use electronic devices for social media. Right, so I was informed of all this and I want to have this out of custody hearing. So you're about to start summer school. Mom, is there no summer school in person? Is it all online?
It is in person, but they have to.
Please stand up.
It's in person, but they have to use the laptop.
Right.
Or in person unless otherwise authorized by a court order.
Okay. So it's in person, but they have to use the laptop at school?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless it's court ordered and they will provide books then.
Right. Okay, Mr. Lewis, what does our campus do for summer school?
I'm not sure. It is on the laptop. I'm aware of that.
Well, I'm saying do the same summer school courses that Michaela would take at Fourth ISD in the community, is that the same curriculum and program we have here?
I don't believe it is.
Okay.
Fort Worth ISD will consider the work done in detention towards her eventual degree program, but I don't believe it's the same program.
Okay. Did she violate anything on the electronic monitor?
No, sir.
Okay, so she's been compliant with the electronic monitor part, but she has not been compliant as far as being respectful to mom and following the house rules. She has not been compliant as far as staying off of social media. Is that correct?
The chat rooms is the
Chat,
problem,
okay.
yeah.
All right, well, I mean, Ms. Taylor, an order's an order. I'd love to hear an argument on why, like, it's not like one's more important than the other. They're all orders, right?
Absolutely, Your Honor. However, I have spoken with mom. She's got a plan for keeping Michaela busy, keeping things together in the home, getting her mentoring. Mom has no desire for Michaela to be, she understands that's
Right.
your ruling.
My
But she
decision.
has no desire for Michaela to be detained today. The only reason she's requested this hearing is to get the court order to have the school make an exception for Michaela during summer school to remove the Chromebook.
Okay, but then my question, Mom, is if she's being disrespectful to you, why should I put her in your home? I mean, you've got other responsibilities, you've got other children in the home, so why should I put Michaela in your home that's keeping you from being a good mom to other kids?
You're correct.
Why should I put her in your home if you were being frustrated and now you may not be fair and impartial to the other kids, that now you're frustrated because of what she's doing?
I think it's more of a mental issue with her, and we're trying to find the right programs to help her. I don't think really incarcerating her is the problem.
Well, I mean, this
solution to the
isn't
problem.
an incarceration issue. This is at this point, what it is the court makes an order, the judge makes an order. Either you follow the order or you don't follow the order. I mean, it's really just that simple.
Right.
And I don't really care if it's a big order or a small order. An order is an order. Like when a judge says something, Michaela, that's what the judge says. That's our system. That's the way our law works. You can't pick and choose which ones you like and which ones you don't like. Like, I'm just as bothered now that you are using social media, even though I told you not to, as I would be if you violated the electronic monitor. I mean, it's either way, a rule's a rule. There's no big rule, there's no small rule. And also not following your mom's rules and not respecting her. And if you're being physically aggressive with your mother, like, this is easy for me to fix. If the only way to keep you from having an attitude with your mom, the only way to keep you from hitting your mom, the only way to keep you from getting on social media is to detain you. Like, I have no problem detaining you. Like, I still sleep in my bed no matter what. Michaela, what you have to understand is that the decision that I'm making is, if I release you, I'm saying these are the conditions I put on you. And so what your decision has to be is that, would you rather be here at Kimbo in our detention facility without internet, or would you rather be at home without internet? Okay. Would you rather be here at Kimbo not giving your mom attitude, or would you rather be at home not giving your mom attitude? Right. Do you understand how this all lays out, Michaela? Like, I'm giving you the choice. You can either follow my rules here at Kimbo, or you can follow my rules at home. But it's up to you. You just get to choose where it's going to be at. If you're telling me that you can't go home and follow my rules, then I'll just bring you here. Okay, there's no confusion about this, right? Like, no matter how much you think at home that you want to get online or communicate with friends or do other things, no matter how much you're tired of being at home, what your decision needs to be is, I would rather be at home bored than be at Kimbo bored. Okay, and that's your decision to make. I can't make it any more simple than that. You have the choice and you have the freedom to decide where you're going to be bored. right? Now, you're telling me right now you'd rather be home board, right? Okay, and I'll give you that chance. I will let you go back home, but you have to understand, I'm not really playing around with this. I'm setting down the rule here. Either you can follow the rule here, or you can follow the rule at home, but that is your choice to make. No one's gonna make that choice for you. But if you push this next time, at a certain point, Michaela, I'm just gonna get tired of it. I'm just say I'm done and just go and detain you, okay? All right, so at this point, can't give your mom an attitude, all right? Your mom is not the perfect mom. My mom's not the perfect mom. There's never been a perfect mom. But you know what? She's a good mom, okay? She's caring for you. She's watching out for you, right? And she's trying to do what's best for you. I'm not saying that you're supposed to say she's right about everything. What I'm saying is you're supposed to respect her for the decisions that she makes, just like you have to respect me for my decisions, or just respect my decisions. You can hate me all you want, but you still have to follow my rules, okay? All right, let's try it out. All right, so let's go ahead. We can get the order. You need a formal written order from the school?
Yes.
Okay.
Your Honor, I was under the impression or the assumption that you're writing that on the conditions of release would suffice.
Okay.
For the school's purposes.
I'll go and write down the conditions of release. If they have a problem with that, contact Mr. Lewis. I can get a more formal order. Okay?
That'll work.
Okay, let's try that out. Michaela, hopefully I'm not gonna see you soon, right? All right, thank you. Yes, thank you, Ms. Taylor. Oh, Michaela, you can't move out when you're 17. Just let you know, that's just the law. Hold on a second. In Texas, you have to be 18. Okay, you can go to prison at 17. You can do all these things at 17, but as far as being on your own, and the reason why is because the law doesn't consider you an adult to 18. You can't sign a contract. You can't lease a car. You can't lease an apartment. You can't. There's all kinds of things you can't do at 17 because you're not an adult. You have to be 18. So that's why technically you have to stay in your mom's house till you're 18. Okay. I just want to. I know you're not happy about that, but I'm just trying to do you a favor to let you know what the law is. Okay. Thank you. Joshua, you're next. Thank you. All right, Joshua, you're 17 years old. You were brought in. See, Judge Porter issued a warrant for you back in April for non-reporting. Back on May 8th at about 3 o'clock, you were arrested by Burleson PD as an adult for assault by contact, evading arrest, and failure to ID. Spent 46 days in Johnson County Jail. Got credit for time served, turning 18 in September. So then you were brought here after you're done with your case. He's on probation for felony injury to a child. So we had an administrative hearing. You're supposed to return home to live with dad as agreed, and you didn't do that.
Judge, he wanted you to know that it wasn't a child, it was an elderly person.
Okay. Yeah, but still felony. So he's on felony probation, smoking weed, skipping court hearings, not living where he's supposed to be, and gets convicted on 3 different crimes as an adult. Is that right, Mr. Houston?
Yes, sir.
Has he done anything right on probation?
Not at this point.
Okay.
You know, we have a bail available for him next week at the campus, detention program at the campus.
For what services?
Drug treatment,
What kind of drug?
marijuana.
Yeah, that's not an addiction, it's a choice. I mean, you choose to smoke weed, you're not addicted to it, so I get it. But yeah, I'm not gonna send him to campus over marijuana. Do we have a parent here?
Yes, sir.
Your dad?
I'm here.
All right, hello, sir. Well, maybe had he listened to us and followed his agreement and gone live with you, he wouldn't have been picked up for a new case, and now with a criminal record as an adult, so. But it is what it is. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and detain him, just because I'm afraid I'm gonna lose him. He's not showing up to court when he's supposed to. He's not reporting. So that's just the consequence of your decision when you skip out on probation. Okay, so we're gonna continue for now. Hopefully your case gets wrapped up pretty soon. I mean, we got here small potatoes, you know, probably just wanna get on with your life, right? All right, thank you, Joshua. Ricardo. Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, Ricardo, it's a 10-day hearing. You're 15 years old, level 1 outstanding. This is 4th PD dispatch to gas station, call, saw a drive-through window that they had a handgun on the center console. Parked at pump 1, and police went up there, saw 2 males. You had a warrant for evading arrest with motor vehicle. And when they asked about the car, you said there was weed and a gun. And so they searched the car, found a Glock 9mm pistol. Vehicle does not belong to you or your brother, who I guess was the other male in the vehicle. Is that right?
Yes.
Brother was the other male? Okay. All right. So, brought up here for unlawfully carrying a weapon. We give you a drug test that's positive for cocaine, methamphetamines, and MDMA. And marijuana. You were abscond status since May 22nd when you cut off your monitor. And so, all right, Ricardo, caught with a gun, plus you were on probation and you skip out on us. I'm not gonna give you a chance to skip out on me again. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and I'm not gonna release you while this case is pending, just because if you don't show up for court, I mean, if you don't show up, you don't show up, right? That's the thing. When kids are on probation, what I want, give me an A in attendance, because that lets me trust you so I can release you. But when you skip out on me and we have to issue a warrant for you, that means I can't trust you to come back, that you're not a man that's gonna keep your word, okay? So at this point, I know you're level 1, I'm glad you are. That's gonna help in other ways. But at this point, this is about you coming back to court. I don't think you're gonna come back to court, all right? Thank you, Ricardo.
Thank you.
Are you mom?
I'm sister.
The sister? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for being here. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, last one, Kiandra. Yes, sir. Ray, it's almost worth it not to go to Rusty Dungeon, isn't it?
I know.
All right.
Hadn't been to it in a long time.
Yeah, I think everyone's gone. Like I've signed so many warrants today because the police go downtown, there's not a single district judge downtown.
Just Thomas is there, I think that's about it.
He's got hearings. I think Westfall was supposed to be in. All right, Kiandra, she's 16 years old. We got a referral. 4th PD dispatch for a shooting where somebody had been accidentally shot. Police got there. Female victim lying on the ground with a gunshot wound. Transported to Harris Hospital. So your mom was contacted and police informed her that they'd like to talk to you, consented, read Miranda, waived rights, and said that friends came by to pick you up, sitting in a car, sitting in the back seat, another juvenile in the front driver's seat, and a female in the front passenger. You said that you were looking at your friend's gun, went to hand it back to him, it went off. All 3 got out. Female said, I think you shot me and collapsed. You said you handed your phone to a friend, called 911. Police asked where the gun was. Said threw it over the fence. They drove over to the field and you found the pistol. And you were released to your mother. All right, so. Mom, do we know where this gun came from?
My understanding was the driver's gun.
Okay, who was the driver? Do you know?
All I know is his first name is Omar.
Okay, but you've known him?
I don't know him.
Okay, so,
He doesn't even stay in my apartment.
all right, so this happened at 11 o'clock at night.
Yes, sir.
Why was your son out at 11 o'clock? Did he sneak out or did he have permission to be out?
His curfew is 12 o'clock.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
His curfew is 12 o'clock, but he shouldn't be out unless, I didn't know he was out, I was coming from work. Usually he's home when I'm coming from work. So, but his curfew is 12 o'clock.
Okay,
I just didn't know that he was out that particular night.
sure. And do you know who the girl was?
I do not know who she
Okay.
is.
What about the other passenger?
I do not know either one of the children. They don't stay around us. They
Right.
don't even attend the same school.
Because part of my problem is, I just think parents should know who their kids are hanging out with. I'm not trying to blame you or anything, I'm just like, that's kind of my philosophy. And so,
I absolutely understand that. That's where I was. I thought we were, but
Right.
when they turn a certain age, they venture off and, start hanging with people we don't know.
sure,
Not the people that we play basketball with, not the people that we've been going to school with, so.
not
I
the people you
understand.
introduce your mom to.
Right, correctly. Not people that's on your basketball team that I do know.
Right. Have you been able to talk to Kiandra while he's here?
Have I talked to him while he's here?
Yes.
Yes, I have. He called me.
Are you able to visit him?
I haven't had a visit yet. I was thinking that I was supposed to get one this weekend.
Okay.
It's this weekend.
So what's your take on this after your phone calls with him?
This has been a really, really dramatic incident. It far more with the young girl. From my understanding, she was more Kiandra's friend than a driver. And to witness that and have to, the driver kind of left them abandoned. He had to stay there with her and provide care for her. After that happened, he kind of went into a little shock. He had to be medically cared for as well. I'm hoping that this is a blessing in disguise from God, for him and for all the kids, because there was other kids in the neighborhood that also saw this, you see, that stayed there. And, sometimes God just works in mysterious ways. We need to make sure that no guns, these guns.
These kids and guns, right?
I kind of blame myself because I was the parent. I did not allow you to play with guns. I didn't buy water guns. I didn't buy toy guns. So it makes him more curious now, is what I'm starting to realize.
Sure.
We're gonna get that under control too.
Okay. Do you think there's a change in Kiandra since he's been here?
Excuse me.
Have you noticed a change in Kiandra since he's been here?
I have. He's talking better, he's doing better. If there was a possibility for him to be released, I would still rather him be released on a monitor. And he had a job waiting him before we came in for court.
Right.
So if that was a possibility, he's talking about going to work, talking about, getting back to hopefully being a kid that he was before he found these friends that he now know aren't his friends.
Especially ones that ditch you when somebody gets shot.
Right, did you and your friend?
And how many of those boys came over and have been calling you, asking how you're doing?
No, and I actually reached out to the girl's mother,
Right.
That part, but
Kiandra's here. How many of his friends?
have reached out to me.
How much of his homeboys are calling you to make sure you're okay, you don't need help?
So the thing about that is, I'm not a parent that allow kids to come to my house and congregate at my house, things like that. Kiandra's friends are school friends. We meet at the basketball court. We meet going down the highway, things of that nature. Those kids, I don't allow kids to stay a night in my house and things of that nature. So those kids don't know me personally outside of the school events to call me to see how's Kiandra doing and things of that nature. I've always been that way. I don't allow kids to come and, can your son come out and play? Because if he wants to play, he can go out and play.
Okay. So, Mr. Lemire, I have a question. What is,
It's more, sir, I'm sorry.
he's on probation for aggravated robbery.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So tell me about that.
That and situation involved he and two other young men, putting an ad in on OfferUp to sell a phone. When the individual showed up for the phone, to give them the money, they tried to take the individual's money. Two of the kids pulled a gun. I read the police report. Didn't know which, it didn't say which of them had the gun. So it was happened in August of 2020.
And my problem here is that he's on felony probation for an incident using a gun, and that he didn't learn his lesson from that. That he's back playing with guns, hanging out with people with guns. Because if you go from an aggravated robbery where nobody got shot, and then now he's got guns and somebody gets shot, but lives, what path are we going down? Like, I see the trajectory, and the trajectory is somebody gets shot and dies, right? I just don't. For me to release Kiandra and then he goes back, hangs out with the same people they shouldn't, around guns again, and now somebody dies, then.
Can I speak?
Yes.
With that being said, I understand correctly.
I'm sorry, can you pull that mask down?
I'm sorry.
That's right.
With that being said, I understand exactly where you're going. And with that, I've made changes myself. As far as my work, I've changed my schedule. I'm part-time now. I've also, we're moving from the area, relocation. It's just things that I need to do. Personally, as a mother, I also feel that would help with the situation. I can be more aware of.
Mr. Hall?
Coming and going.
I've talked with Kiandra several times on the phone and stuff, and he's really upset about the girl getting shot. It was one of his friends. I think this has helped make a change in him. He's asked me, if he can go home on the monitor. He knows that if he does get to go home, it'll be on the monitor. But he would like to be given a chance to show that he can, do what he's supposed to do and not hang out with these kids that are toting around with guns.
So, Mr. Mayor, tell me what else he did, how he was on probation.
Prior to, he had completed his community service, he had 100 hours.
He did it all?
He did all of it, and completed his CCAT. No issues with making contact with him, his mother stays in contact with me.
Was there a restitution?
I'm not sure.
Actually, it may be here. No restitution order. Kiandra, I'm gonna release you, all right? I want to tell you why though. I really have, I'm kind of torn on this one. I think I'll be comfortable either way. But what's making the difference for me is after what I assume is an accidental shooting, that you didn't run off, that you stayed around to do the right thing. That when the police came there, even though you tried to get rid of the gun, when the police asked, you were forthcoming, told them where the gun was, that you weren't really trying to escape any responsibility. That I'm looking at this, that this was a mistake that happened, and mistakes happen, but that you didn't try and do something to make the mistake worse. Once the mistake was made, you understood there's a consequence, and you stuck around for the consequence. You knew you were gonna come to Kimbo, right? I mean, you knew that was gonna work. You knew we got here, it's a gun case, so I wasn't gonna let you go. And you knew that, and you said, hey, I'm gonna face the music when it plays. So the fact that it seems like you're open to the idea that in your mind, that you're trying to do the right thing, that you made the mistake as far as being around the gun, which if it's true, you know you're not supposed to, right? But the true measure of a man is how we own up to our own mistakes, right? It seems like you made a good decision there. That's why I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt this time, okay? Just letting you know, had you made another, you can always make a bad decision, and you can make more bad decisions to make it worse. You didn't make it worse, you actually made it better. So hopefully you learn from that. I'm going to release you on electronic monitor. Now, do we not, Mr. Lemire, when he came in from Red River, we didn't give him a drug test?
He was positive for marijuana.
Very positive marijuana, all right. So Kiandra, you know, you can't be on probation smoking weed. Another bad decision, right? If you don't want the probation, you just want to go TJJD, let me know. And we can send you there, you can get started quicker, get out quicker. But if you really want probation, man, you gotta follow probation, okay? So it's not I think you know me well enough now, because we've been a couple times. I'm not the kind of judge that says things are good enough. You know, you gotta do it right. Either do it right or you don't do it right. That's the way I see it. It's never good enough, okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mom. And just in case, I mean, now that he has kind of like, I guess this curiosity about weapons, there are plenty of programs for youth about teaching them safe firing. If this is one that you just think at this time as a child that you may want to, or you think is appropriate, you can actually contact the NRA, which has a list of all kinds of youth shooting programs. I don't know, maybe good. Like, I think kids with guns is fine as long as there's an adult to supervise. So if you're not comfortable, don't do it. And that's fine. I'm just letting you know in case you didn't know that the NRA does have a lot of youth programs that your son, it may create a different situation for your son, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, that's it for today. And everyone be careful driving. People are crazy on the road. Driving from Ridgely to here. Almost got 4 wrecks. Actually, there was one accident.
It's pretty